I'm 94 years old now. My hands shake a little when I hold the cup, and the house is too quiet most days. I've outlived almost everyone I used to know. My wife, my brother, even some of the neighbors who were young when I was already old. There's not much left to do except sit here and think. And what keeps coming back to me over and over is how long it took me to see what really mattered. It took me more than 60 years to understand something I could tell you in 10 minutes if you'd listened. I was 28 when I married Marie. We met at a dance hall in the city, back when people still danced on Saturday nights. She had a soft laugh and eyes that looked right at you. I was working as a mechanic then, fixing cars in a garage downtown. The pay wasn't much, but it was steady. I thought that was enough. Steady work, a wife who loved me, maybe kids someday. We rented a small apartment above a bakery. Every morning, the smell of bread woke us up. Those were good years, though I didn't know it at the time. We had our first child, a girl we named Clara, in 1955. Then came the boy, Thomas, 2 years later. I worked longer hours to cover the bills. Overtime was always there if you wanted it. I wanted it. Marie stayed home with the kids, and she never asked for more than what we had. But I kept thinking about bigger things, a house of our own, a car that didn't break down, savings so we wouldn't worry. I told myself it was for them. By my 30s, I was foreman at the garage, more responsibility, more money. We bought that house, a little place on a quiet street with a yard for the kids. I was proud of it. I'd come home tired, eat dinner, then go over the books or plan the next week's jobs. Marie would read to the children or sew in the living room. Sometimes she'd ask if I wanted to sit with them. I'd say I had to finish something first. There was always something first. The children grew. Clara was quiet, good at school. Thomas was restless, always outside kicking a ball or climbing trees. I taught him to work hard, to not expect handouts. That was the lesson my own father gave me. Marie did the other part. She was the one who listened to their stories, bandaged their knees, knew their friends' names. I remember one evening in particular. Clara was maybe 12. She had drawn a picture, a family under a big tree. She showed it to me when I got home late. I glanced at it, said it was nice, then went to wash up. She stood there a moment longer and walked away. I didn't think about it again until years later. Small moments like that, they add up without you noticing. In my 40s, the garage owner retired and I bought the business. It was a risk, but it paid off. We expanded, hired more men, money came in better. We took a vacation once, to the lake for a week. The kids loved it. Marie smiled more that week than I remembered in a long time. But when we got back, it was right into the routine again. Calls at night, emergencies at the shop. I told myself this was what being a provider looked like. Marie started getting headaches. She said it was nothing, just tired. I believed her because I wanted to. The kids went off to college, Clara to study teaching, Thomas to engineering. The house felt empty without him, but I filled it with work. Marie and I talked less. Not because we fought, we just didn't have much to say anymore. I'd ask about her day, she'd ask about mine. That was it. When I was 58, Marie got sick. It started slow, forgetting small things, then bigger ones. The doctor called it early Alzheimer's. I didn't know what to do with that word. I kept working, hired help for the house. I thought if I worked harder, paid for better care, it would hold things together. But it didn't. She slipped away, piece by piece. One day, she didn't know who I was. That was the worst. I sat by her bed and talked anyway, told her stories from when we met. She looked at me politely, like a stranger listening to someone else's life. She died at 67. The funeral was small. Clara and Thomas came with their families. We stood there in the rain, saying the usual things. After that, the house was mine alone. The business ran itself mostly by then. I sold it a few years later, retired. But retirement didn't feel like freedom. It felt like silence. Clara visits when she can. She lives 2 states away now, has her own children. Thomas calls sometimes, but he's busy with his job, his own regrets maybe. I don't blame them. I wasn't there when they needed me to be, not really. Sitting here now at 94, I see it clearly. All those years I chased security, thinking it would protect us. I thought providing meant money and a roof and not having to worry. But what we needed wasn't more things, it was time. Time sitting together without an agenda. Time listening when someone spoke. Time saying the things that matter before the chance is gone. I waited too long to understand that love isn't proven by what you build or earn. It's proven by showing up day after day, even when you're tired. By putting the work down sometimes and just being there. I assumed there would always be more time, tomorrow, next year, after the next big job. But time doesn't wait. It moves on without asking. Marie used to say, "We're not promised tomorrow." I nodded like I understood. I didn't. Not until she was gone. And then the children were grown and living their own lives, and the house echoed with what wasn't said. If you're younger and you're listening to this old man ramble, here's what I wish someone had told me when I was 30 or 40 or even 50. Don't wait to give the people you love your attention. They won't ask for it twice. They'll just stop asking. And one day you'll look for them, and they'll be further away than you can reach. I can't go back. I can't sit with Marie on the porch one more evening, or watch Clara show me her drawing and really see it. I can't tell Thomas it's okay to fail sometimes, that he doesn't have to prove himself every day. Those moments are gone. What I have left is this quiet and the knowledge that came too late. I don't say this to make you feel bad. I say it because I don't want you to sit where I am someday, counting the years you spent looking past the people right in front of you. If this reaches you somehow and it makes you pick up the phone or walk into the next room and just sit with someone, really sit without checking the time, then maybe these 60+ years weren't entirely wasted. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening to an old man who's finally learned to be quiet.